Okay. Good morning to YouTube. And good morning to Facebook. All right. I haven't worn my watch in months because I ruined my wrist. Anyway. YouTube looks kind of weird, but I think it's all right. Phoebe, stay in your room. All right. 9:29. We're almost ready. Wait just another little minute or so because I'm usually late. Snap, crackle, pop. Is that YouTube? All right. What do you need, Muffin? All right. So, it's got to be close enough, right? Today we're going to do more forward folding. Right? Things have gotten a little heated and crazy this week. So we're going to bring it down. Right? Some days you need back bends and everything because you got lots of energy and you want to burn it off, or you need to make yourself happy and you want to open up. And then some days you just have to be quiet. So I'm going to be quiet today. Okay. And remember, if that's not where you're at this morning and you want to choose something else from the archives, Facebook, remember they're deleting things, I think, after 30 days now. I think. So the YouTube channel, which is just Mary Jo Stinnett, or anydayyoga.com, you can find other videos. So, and of course, you could always stay here, but then modify this or that, right? If it's like enough folds already, do something else, right? Because no one can see you. You're not interrupting anything. You're not, it's all good, right? So remember, it's always up to you what you do with your practice. Always. Are you staying, going? What do you want? This is a cat. So, starting seated, obviously here. Bringing the heels to a line and finding a comfortable seat. So if that means propping up in any way, shape, or form, please help yourself and do that. Right? So upright on the pelvis, we want to activate. So lifting the pelvic floor, we lift the belly in and up. We're tall through the sides, trying to stay relaxed through the shoulders and hips. Go ahead and let your hands just fall where is most comfortable for you, and close your eyes. Checking in that the head is right over the shoulders, so maybe think bottom tips of the shoulders, bottom tips of the ears, back until you feel that weight shift. And then just give yourself a moment. Shifting from the busyness of the day, other things you have to do later, and just being present right now. Become aware of your breath. Gradually begin to stretch that breath out. So breathing all through the nose. Make the inhales a little deeper, a little slower maybe. And then match your exhales. Gradually finding your yoga breath, nice and full, smooth, as even as possible. Keeping the mind where it is now. Let's go ahead and begin to add in some movement. So taking the arms out to the sides, we're going to inhale, lift them up. Exhaling to bring them back down. Letting the arms reflect the breath. We'll do it again. And then once more. Inhaling back to the top. Exhaling just the right hand back down and giving yourself a tip to that side. Big breath here. And then bring it back up to center. Switching to the left. And have a nice big breath here. Inhaling back to the middle. And with the breath, one more time like that on each side. When you're back to center, just go ahead and exhale the arms back down. Bringing the right hand over to the left knee and the left hand behind the body. Nice, easy little twist here. Big, full breaths. Nice, tall spine. Release it back to center and take it to the second side. Back to the middle again, and over to the left one more time, a little deeper with this one. Releasing back through the center and over to the right. Last one for now. Coming on back to the middle. And instead of having the heels aligned here, let's go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together. Drawing the heels as close to the groin as they'll go. Hanging on to the ankles, you can use your elbows to help the inner thigh down, not the knee, the inner thigh, right? Closer to the hip than the knee. Sitting up nice and tall. So this is a lovely little stretch, and if it's enough, it's enough. Otherwise, maybe a little hinge forward, think belly button to heels. Keeping the shoulder blades toward each other instead of rounding. Head in line with the spine. Take just a couple more nice big breaths here. And then we'll gently inhale, bring it back up to neutral. And release the legs out front. So kick them long, flex the feet, point the toes at the ceiling. Right? If you are on a bolster, remember just a little gentle bend in the knees. It can be easy to hyperextend. We want to sit up nice and tall here. Reach the arms up toward the ceiling. And as you exhale, bring yourself forward. So hinge from the hip. When you can't hinge from the hip any further, that's when the hands come down. Don't worry about touching your toes or not. It does not matter. Keep the chest open. And after a breath or two, maybe the stretch is a little deeper. Taking just a couple more breaths in this first forward fold. And on an inhale, we're going to hinge back up. Release the arms. And let's open the feet into a straddle. Don't worry about wide, right? Just so you feel a nice little stretch in the inner thigh here. Right? If you need to adjust your seat, certainly adjust your seat. And again, just that gentle little bend in the knees, right? Trying not to hyperextend. So you can take your arms up or you can leave your hands on the floor. This does not matter. Reaching the arms up if you'd like, that we're going to rotate the belly toward the right leg, and then we're going to fold over the right leg. The left cheek is going to get a little light. Press it back down. Just a nice easy stretch here. And just like with the first forward fold, you may find that after a breath or two, you can move a little deeper into it. Just take your time. One more breath here. With the inhale, making your way back up to the middle. We're going to rotate to the left and then do the same thing there. Again, remember, it's not about reaching for your toes, so just let the hands fall to the floor. And the shoulder blades toward each other. That right cheek firm on the mat. Taking just a couple more breaths over on this side. Coming back up to the middle. And then releasing. Here we're going to take the right hand and bring it up underneath the left thigh. Pin it under there. Right? Take the left arm up and we're going to hinge over to the right again. But instead of facing toward the leg, in your brain anyway, face toward the ceiling. Right? You can use the elbow at the inner thigh, maybe even taking it to the floor and rotating a little bit more. Just listening to your body. Just like with the rest of the folds, kind of watch it develop. One more nice big breath. With the inhale, making your way back up. And then switching sides. So the left hand pinned underneath the right thigh. Right arm up and over. Using the elbow at the inner thigh. And again, think rotating the chest, face, belly button, maybe even toward the ceiling-ish. One more breath. Inhaling to make your way back to center. And we're going to take both hands in the middle. All right. Sit up nice and tall here. And now think hinging forward again. Belly button toward the floor, maybe, kind of, sort of. But again, just take your time with it. Find after a breath or two that it's not so terrible. Just pay attention that the feet stay flexed with the toes pointing toward the ceiling. That's where the stretch is. Taking just a couple more nice big breaths. With the next inhale, making your way back up. And bringing the feet back together. Wiggle a little bit if you need. And make your way around onto hands and knees. Yikes. Yeah, doing a lot of snap, crackle, pop this morning. All right. So, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Make a nice, lovely foundation for your hands. Right. And then just some cat-cows. Right? So inhale the belly toward the floor. Exhale and round your spine toward the ceiling. Flowing in and out like that. Once more in each direction. And then back to the middle. So let's take the hands, hand print forward or knee print back, into kneeling plank. So finding your middle here, again, making sure that your wrists are happy. Spread the weight on the hands, nice and even. Stay on the knees if you'd like, or lift into full plank here. And just hold. Lower belly's pulling in to support the lower back. Shoulders are neutral on the back. Press through the heels. And then making your way into down dog. Lifting the hips, wiggling, stretching, whatever you need to here. Yeah, the cat. So settling in, pressing through the heels, pressing the chest back, letting your head just hang nice and loose and relaxed. Let's go ahead and lift the right leg. Press through both heels. See if you can get that left heel a little bit closer to the floor. It doesn't have to touch. We just want enough extra stretch. And then from there, let's step the right foot forward and make our way to a lunge. Dropping the back knee, adjust the right toes up. Sometimes they don't exactly land where you want them to. Right? So knee over ankle here. And you can wiggle around a little bit, wake up the hips. We haven't moved this direction yet. Finding your center then. So think pulling the legs toward each other. Feel the hips square up. Take the right leg straight-ish. You can flex the foot to bump up the intensity. Remember that gentle little bend, we don't want to hyperextend here. See about pressing the heel down into the floor. Did that bump it up a little bit? Maybe drag the foot back. Feel like you're dragging that foot back toward the hip. Just all these little extras to give a little extra zing. If you need the zing, you might not. You might just be happy to have the leg straight. Yeah. So we're going to bend back into the knee, drop into the hips, just as low as they'll go. But keep that idea of pulling the feet or the legs toward each other so the hips stay square. Let's have a twist, bringing the right hand to the hip, rotating around. And then releasing the twist. Take the leg straight again. Bump up the stretch if and when you're ready. And then bend back into the knee. Drop those hips nice and low. Stay down if you prefer, or lift up on this thigh here, coming up more vertical with the upper body. So the more you sink into the hips and lift the upper body upright, vertical, whatever, right? The bigger the stretch is. You can extend the arms, you can add a little baby back bend, and release the fingers behind the back, all the things, or none. And then just gently release that back over into the lunge. Lift the knee, step back to down dog. And we'll go to the second side. So lift the left leg. Press through that right heel, get that little extra. And step forward with the left foot. Drop the knee, adjust your foot. Right? Wiggle around a little bit. And then finding center again, kind of drawing the legs toward each other. Take their left leg straightish. And back into the knee. Sink the hips. Add in your twist. Releasing the twist. Take the leg straight in. And then bend back into the knee. Keep the hips low as you climb up onto the thigh. And then add if you want to add. Another nice big breath here. And gently release, making your way back to the lunge and into down dog. Let's go ahead and drop on down to the knees and give yourself a child's pose. Sitting the hips back, propping the head up with your fists, or a block, or a blanket. Hands back by your heels if you like. And then back to down dog. Walking the feet forward to come into a standing fold. Take a little bend into the knees, and on an inhale, roll that spine all the way up. Coming to stand. All right. So let's go ahead and take a couple of sun salutes. We haven't done them in a while because I'm nursing my shoulder. So let's see how it goes. Okay, you missed them. So standing tall at the top of the mat here. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, take yourself into the fold. Inhale, come halfway up. And then exhale, stepping back into plank. Knees, if you like knees, of course. Drop down to belly. And then roll the shoulders, little baby cobra here, squeezing the elbows in. Making your way up and back into down dog. Stepping forward into the fold, inhale. Halfway up on the next inhale. And then back over. Reach for the ceiling. And exhale, release. Let's do another like that. Inhaling up. Exhale to the fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale back to plank. From the knees, if you like, to the belly. Into cobra. Back to down dog. Inhaling fold. Inhaling halfway up. And then all the way reaching the arms. And then releasing. I plan on one more, but my shoulder's yelling at me. So what do we do when our body yells at us? We stop. Right? You guys see the cat? You can. Hilarious. So nice big step back with the left foot. We're going to move into triangle. So right toes pointing forward, left toes cut in a little bit. Go ahead and keep the body open to the side as much as you can. Extend the arms out. We're going to reach over the right toes. Again, keeping the body open to the side of your mat rather than the front. Yeah. And then let the right hand fall. Left hand is reaching toward the ceiling. It can stay on your hip if you don't like it, right? Lean on the side only if you must. Feeling even in the feet, tall through the spine. Take another big breath. And then go ahead and bend into the right knee and come into a full lunge here. You can drop the back knee if you need to, of course, but maybe you don't. And take this right leg straight or straightish. Prop up on a block. If you have the balance board or if you have your knee down, you can maybe prop up on the shin. It can be a little wobbly. And then add in the twist here. So this left hand is going to stay where it is. Right hand can come to the hip. It can reach to the ceiling if that makes you happy. Rotate the belly around. So we went from having the upper body face, left, I guess it was, to face the floor, now to face right. Yeah. Release the twist and bend back into the knee here. From here, hop the left toes forward until all the weight is on the right foot, and we're gonna lift the left toes away from the floor. So ideally the right leg is straight. It's not magic, right? Left leg is gonna be straight. even if the toes are like an inch off the floor, right? So you're still balancing. The hands can come up on the thigh. They can fly back. They can fly to the sides. The arms can fly forward. Again, whatever makes you happy. And then step way back into the lunge again. This time, even if you didn't before, drop the back knee. And instead of having the right hand on the outside of the foot, bring it to the inside. All right, so I'm gonna face forward so y'all can kind of see what's going on here. So hug the right knee in toward the shoulder. And imagine even here, kind of pulling your legs toward each other so the hips don't get all wonky, right? This can be enough. If you'd like, start to bend your elbows. And you can drop your elbows all the way to the floor. If they don't go to the floor, but you want to kind of rest a little bit, you can use a block. Bring your elbows to the block. It's going to sink in a little bit deeper into the hips. Take another big breath. Gently release what you got here. And wiggle your way back into a down dog. It doesn't have to be pretty. Wiggle around. Maybe drop to the knees and take a child's pose. We're just gonna bring the camera down. Hey, y'all. All right. So from down dog, go ahead and step your left foot forward. Yeah, left foot. Drop the back heel, lift the upper body, and you're gonna set up for triangle on the second side. So left toes point forward, right toes cut in. That's where we're at, right? Extend the arms, keeping the body open to the right side of your mat. Stretch forward and hinge over. Another nice big breath. And then bend into the knee, come to lunge. Again, decide if you need your right knee down or not. Take the left leg straight. Folding over the leg. Prop if you need to prop, of course, modify however your body needs you to modify this. Adding the twist in, so right hand stays put, left hand either to the hip or to the ceiling. Rotating the belly. Releasing the twist, bending into the knee again. Hop your right toes forward until you're standing just on the left foot. Lift the right foot away from the floor. And then maybe your hands, maybe fly the arms. Another nice big breath. Release it back to the lunge. Again, dropping down to the knee, even if you hadn't before. Bringing the left hand to the inside of the foot, hug the knee and shoulder together. Right? Draw the legs toward each other so the hips stay fairly centered. And then bend the elbows here, maybe. And the idea is to bring your belly button to the floor. This is probably not going to happen, right? But you could drop your head and your forehead would get closer to the floor, right? But we don't care about that. So in your brain, think belly to the floor. Take another big breath. And then gently release what you got. Make your way back into down dog again. And give yourself another child's pose. So come on up onto hands and knees. And instead of having your knees close, take your knees wide. Have the toes to touch. And go ahead and sit your hips back towards your heels. You can just kind of sink the belly toward the floor. Probably a little less awful here, right? Coming up a little bit, bringing the knees back together, and then just sliding yourself forward out onto the belly. So we have to counter all of the forward with a little bit of backward. We've got a little bit of back bend going on in there, but one last time, building the muscles. Okay. So we're going to start with just the upper body here. So imagine your toenails pressing into the floor and leave them there. Tailbone turning toward the floor. Hands are going to be back by the sides. You can interlace the fingers behind the back if that's you. And then just like Cobra, we kind of roll the shoulders so we curl the chest away from the floor. Breathe. And then release. You're going to make a pillow for your head with your hands and work with just the lower body this time. So rest your forehead or your chin on the pillow that you made with your hands here. And we're going to think about the legs. So spread your toes wide and imagine extending your big toe toward the wall behind you. Feel your hamstrings light up there. Use your hamstrings at least as much as your butt to lift your legs up off the floor. If you feel tightness in your lower back, you want to either stop or remember to turn your tailbone toward the floor. Sometimes it's an easy fix, sometimes you need to just not do it, right? And then release it. So then we get to put it together. Taking the arms down by the sides and releasing the fingers behind the back if you like. And then let's put it together. So the tailbone turns toward the floor, the shoulders roll, so the chest lifts away, the big toes stretch back, and we lift the legs. Let's release it back down. Make the pillow for your head. Turn your toes toward each other, and then just gently rock back and forth on your hips. Shake out your lower back. Ideally, the entire back side of the body works very nicely together. But the lower back especially likes to do everything. Lower back and your bone like to do everything. From there, simply come to center and roll over onto your back. So wiggling yourself back to your mat, of course. And then just taking a moment. You can lay flat, you can have the feet to the floor, whatever makes you happy. And then just kind of rest into the mat. Nice neutral spine here. Shoulders back. Let your head rest. From there, nice and easy, bring your feet flat to the floor. And we're going to hug the knees into the chest. Little rock. Taking the feet flat to the floor again. Crossing the left ankle over the right knee. Reaching back behind the right thigh and then releasing the fingers. Draw the right leg in toward your chest. You can use the left elbow to press that leg away a little bit if you like. And if you round up a little bit on your spine, that's okay for right this second, but recognize that you do round. Sometimes it's just your butt lifts away from the floor a little bit. Sometimes it's just the shoulders round up. Just kind of notice what's happening back there. And then keep those arms drawing in, but now use your right leg to press back into the hands. And if you did round up, did that kind of neutralize? Yeah, neutralize your spine. Another big breath. And then gently release it. Both feet flat to the floor again. Switching sides, so the right ankle over the left knee. Reaching back behind the left thigh. And again, for a moment, just draw in and don't worry about rounding, right? Notice, right? But don't worry about it. You don't have to change anything or do anything. Just let it be. And then keep pulling toward the body, but now push back with the leg. And see if you can straighten the spine out. Sassy, sassy, sassy. Oh. Another big breath here. And then release that side. So both feet flat. Let's take our final twist here. So opening the arms out into a T position, palms face up. And like always, you can get as fancy or not as you like with this. We're going to start with the knees to the right. So whether you just let the legs fall, whether you shift the hips to the left and then let them fall, whether you leave the knees bent, take the legs straight, push through the heel, or just let gravity do all the work. This last one is always just kind of yours. And play with it and see what your body likes best today. We're going to take just a few more big breaths. So modify if you want to modify. And then release that and make your way back up to the middle. Moving to the second side. So we start in the same position that we started on the other side. You want to work evenly, but sometimes the sides of your body don't need the same things. So if you need to modify differently on this side, And that's what you do. And again, just taking a few more breaths. And then making your way back to center again. Draw the knees in toward the chest. Give yourself a rock. And bring it in for a good squeeze. So hug those knees in as tight as you can. Pull the forehead toward the knees and give yourself a hug. Releasing into a full body stretch. And then release that stretch. Make your way to whatever Shavasana is going to look like. And that's not always the same, so just give yourself a moment. Wiggle into it. And when you found it, get still. So no more wiggling. Allow the breath to just flow nice and even, easy. And keep your thoughts here. Maybe that means focusing on your breath. Maybe that means focusing your mind on the weight of the body part of your body that's touching the floor. Whatever little trick you need to use to keep your mind present and quiet. Remember, you can stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like. And if you're ready, begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Taking a nice big stretch, a great big breath. Just like you're waking up. When you're ready, taking the feet flat. Rolling to the side and very gently making your way back to seated. Bring the palms to touch. Bowing to the light within. Namaste. All better. At least for that 50 minutes or whatever it was, right? All right, y'all. Thanks for practicing with me, and I will see you next week, providing nothing crazy happens. All right, have a good weekend. Bye, guys.